I never thought a single envelope could unravel everything. It arrived on a Tuesday, slipped under the door of my cramped Brooklyn apartment like some anonymous threat, postmarked from the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania. Grandpa's handwriting, shaky but deliberate, scrawled across the front. Emily, read this alone. Burn it after if you have to. Love, always. Pop. I tore it open, expecting maybe a check for a few $100. The kind of pity money old folks send to grandkids they've half forgotten. Instead, it was a key. A goddamn antique brass key taped to a letter that started with, "I'm sorry for the lies,
Kiddo.
but it's time you knew why I had to let your father rot." That key unlocked more than a safe. It cracked open the vault of family secrets I'd spent 30 years pretending didn't exist. And just like that, one kind gesture from a dying man turned my world into a battlefield, where the only weapon left was revenge, served cold as a Pittsburgh winter. I was Emily Harper, 32, scraping by as a freelance graphic designer in New York. The kind of gig where you're one late invoice from eviction. Life hadn't been kind since Mom died in that car wreck when I was 10, hit by a drunk driver on I-80. They said. Dad spiraled after that, drowning in whiskey and bad bets at the track, leaving me to raise my little brother,
Tommy.
on ramen and resentment. Grandpa, Pop, as we called him, was the rock. The one who'd wire money when the lights were about to flicker off. Show up unannounced with bags of groceries and stories about his days in the steel mills. He never said much about Dad's screw-ups. Just shook his head and muttered, "Blood's thicker than rust."
Eminência.
But it don't mean it's clean. The letter was 3 pages, typed on his old underwood. The ink smudged like tears. It started innocent enough. Remembrances of summers at the cabin in the Poconos, fishing for bass and dodging black flies. Then it veered hard left. Your father didn't just drink himself stupid, Emily. He stole from me. From all of us. Back in '92, the mill shut down, and I had a nest egg, 50 grand from overtime and side gigs, tucked in a safe deposit box. Meant for you kids' college, for a fresh start. But Jack, your dad, he found out about it. Needed it for his debts to some Philly bookies.
He didn't ask.
He broke in, cleaned it out, framed me for embezzling from the union fund. Cop spotted hook,
Line.
and sinker because Jack was the golden boy. The war hero from Nam who came home with medals and a smile. My hands shook as I read on. Pop had taken the fall, lost his pension, his good name, spent 2 years in county lockup on charges that weren't his. Released broke and bitter. He'd clawed his way back selling scrap metal, never breathing a word to Mom or us kids. I did it for family, he wrote. Jack promised to make it right. Send you and Tommy to school. But he blew it all on horses and hookers, then OD'd in a motel off the turnpike in '05. Left you holding the bag. I watched from afar, hating myself for not speaking up sooner. This keys to the cabin safe. There's what's left of that fortune. Grown to near $1 million through smart plays in the market. It's yours, Emily. But use it wise. Jack's ghost ain't done haunting yet. $1 million. From one kind gesture. A fortune. But the shock wasn't the money. It was the betrayal slicing through my gut like a switchblade. Dad hadn't just been a screw-up. He'd been a thief. A liar who'd let his own father rot in a cell while he chased highs. And Pop, God, Pop, had carried that cross silently, gifting me summers of normalcy while his world crumbled. I burned the letter in the sink that night, watching the flames curl the edges, ashes swirling up like the lies we'd all swallowed. But the key that I kept, tucked in my bra like a loaded gun. By dawn, I'd booked a red-eye to Pittsburgh, the kind of flight where the seats recline just enough to fool you into thinking you're not plummeting toward hell. The cabin was an hour's drive north, off Route 6, nestled in the pines like a forgotten postcard from the Rust Belt's glory days. I'd inherited it after Pop's funeral last month, quiet affair. Just me,
Tommy.
and Aunt Rita, Dad's sister, who showed up in pearls and a pantsuit, sniffing about estate matters. Tommy was 25 now, fresh out of community college with a mechanic cert, living in Erie with his girl and a pit bull named Rusty. He hadn't come on this trip, said he had shifts at the shop. Fine by me, I needed the road to myself. The hum of tires on cracked asphalt to drown out the rage bubbling up. The cabin looked the same, sagging roof, stone chimneys stained black from decades of wood smoke, porch swing creaking in the wind. I jammed the key into the rusted lock under the floorboards, heart pounding like I'd find bodies instead of bonds. The safe was there, a squat Fire King bolted to the joists, groaning open to reveal stacks of bearer certificates. A ledger in Pop script tracking trades in Apple and Tesla before they were household names. $1 million too. Easy. Enough to buy freedom. Or buy a noose. But tucked in the back, another envelope. Emily, don't trust Rita. She knew. Helped Jack cover it. Burn this too. My blood went ice cold. Aunt Rita, the family saint, the one who'd helped after Mom died, paying for my art school tuition with strings attached, weekly calls, guilt trips about making Dad proud. She'd been in on it. The betrayal deepened, roots twisting into every memory. Rita, with her perfect life in Pittsburgh, husband a lawyer, 2 kids in Ivy Leagues, lecturing me on responsibility while she shielded a felon. I didn't burn that one. I folded it into my pocket and drove straight to her McMansion in Shadyside, the kind of place with a 3-car garage and landscaping that screamed old money laundering sins. It was pushing noon when I pulled up, the November chill biting through my jeans. Rita answered the door in yoga pants and a cashmere sweater, her Botox smile freezing when she saw the key dangling from my fist. Emily? Honey. What a surprise. Come in. I was just... Save it. Aunt Rita. I shoved past her into the foyer, marble floors echoing like a tomb. Pop's safe. The money. You knew about Dad's theft. And you let him pin it on Pop. Her face drained, but she recovered quick, too quick, like she'd rehearsed this in the mirror. What on earth are you talking about? Jack was troubled. Yes. But... I slapped the envelope on the hall table, Pop's words staring up at her. She scanned it, then crumpled it like trash, her manicured nails digging in. That old fool. Always spinning tales to get pity. Your grandfather was jealous, Emily, of Jack's charm, his service. He fabricated the whole thing to smear us after the arrest. I protected the family, protected you from his bitterness. Liar. The word hung heavy, the air thick with the scent of her lavender diffuser, masking the rot. You cashed in on it too, didn't you? Pop's pension gone. But you and Uncle Ted suddenly affording this palace. She laughed, sharp as shattered glass.
Oh.
Sweetheart. You think $1 million changes anything? You're just like your father, impulsive, ungrateful. Run back to your little life in the city. This doesn't concern you. But it did. It concerned the years I'd scrubbed toilets to pay for design school. The nights Tommy went hungry because Dad's inheritance was a myth. It concerned Pop's cough in that last hospice bed, whispering, "Make it right."
Eminência.
I left without another word. But the seed was planted. Revenge wasn't a flash, it was a slow burn. American as apple pie laced with arsenic. Back in Brooklyn, the fortunes sat in a brokerage account. Anonymous wires to some Cayman shell Pop had set up. I could have quit the grind, bought a loft in Williamsburg, sipped lattes with trust fund artists. Instead, I hired a PI, ex-cop named Harlan, grizzled and cheap, the kind who drinks Coors for breakfast. Dig on Rita Harper, I told him over burner phones.
Finance.
Alibis. Anything tying her to Dad's scams in '92. Harlan delivered in drips. Rita's husband,
Ted.
had represented Jack pro bono during his debts, burying evidence in plea deals. Rita herself? Signatures on falsified affidavits swearing Pop had gambling problems. And the kicker, a safety deposit box in her name, mirroring Pop's, stuffed with bonds that trace back to the stolen nest egg. She'd siphoned off 20 grand over the years. Loans to Jack that never got repaid. The betrayal wasn't just deep, it was a goddamn family business. Tommy called that week. Voice tight.
Ink. You okay?
Rita's been blowing up my phone, saying you're on some witch hunt. What's going on? I pace my apartment, skyline mocking me through grimy windows. Truth.
Tommy.
About Dad. About all of us. I spilled it, the letter, the safe. Rita's complicity. Silence stretched. Then a sigh.
Shit.
I always knew Dad was dirty. But Pop.
Why didn't he tell me?
Because he loved us too much to break us. My voice cracked. But I'm ending it. Rita's going down. Don't do anything stupid.
Sis.
We got the money now. Walk away. But walking away was for suckers. This was payback. Pure and pointed. The kind that leaves scars no surgeon can fix. Harlan's next drop came encrypted. A PDF titled The Snake Pit, detailing Rita's web. Turns out, she wasn't just an accomplice, she was the architect. Back in '91, before the theft, Rita had been Pop's bookkeeper at the mill, trusted with ledgers, access codes. She'd tipped Jack off about the nest egg, even driven him to the bank that night in July, fog rolling off the Allegheny like a conspirator's cloak. Pop's embezzlement? Rita's forgery. Her elegant script mimicking his scrawl on union checks. She'd played the grieving sister at his trial, testifying with crocodile tears about his descent into despair. The jury, blue-collar folks like us, ate it up, sentencing Pop to 24 months. And the fortune? Rita had clawed her share, investing in real estate flips during the '08 crash, turning blood money into brick-and-mortar empires. Her net worth? 8 figures. Easy. Uncle Ted's law firm? Built on laundering those gains through charitable trusts. They hosted galas for veterans. For Christ's sake. Toasting sacrifice, while Pop shoveled snow for pennies. I stared at the screen till my eyes burned, the city lights blurring into accusations. This wasn't abstract anymore, it was visceral. A knife twist in the family flesh. Tommy texted, found old photos. Dad and Rita, laughing at the cabin. Pop in the background, looking wrecked. You sure about this? Sure? Hell. I was certain as sin. But revenge needs a blueprint, not a Molotov. I started small, anonymous tips to Ted's partners, whispers of irregularities in client funds. Nothing stuck. Ted was slick. His firm a fortress of NDAs and golf buddies on the bench. Then Harlan unearthed gold, Rita's affair. With the prosecutor from Pop's trial. A silver-haired prick named Harlan, wait.
No. Victor lang.
Now a judge in Allegheny County. Their emails. Hacked from a dumb password, Jackie069. Painted pillow talk laced with legal favors. Keep Pop quiet, she'd written post-verdict. Our future depends on it.
Bingo.
Blackmail begets blackmail. I drafted my first strike. A USB drive. Docs and screenshots. Mailed to Ted's office with a note. Divorce her. Or the Post-Gazette gets this.
No caps. No traces.
Just justice. Ted called that afternoon. Voice like gravel over my burner. Emily? What the fuck is this? Rita's hysterical. Collateral. Uncle Ted. For Pop's years. You want the marriage? Give me Rita's confession, on video. Notarized. Admit the frame job. The theft. Or watch your world burn beside hers. He sputtered. Threatened lawsuits. But I heard the fear, the squeak of a man cornered. You're destroying a family.
Eminencia.
For what? Ghosts. Ghosts who raised me, I shot back. While you profited. A week later, the video arrived, Rita in pearls. Eyes puffy. Droning a scripted mea culpa to a webcam. I helped Jack. Lied for him. Pop was innocent.
I'm sorry. T'es des signatures dernites.
Dated. It wasn't enough, not yet, but it was leverage. A noose tightening. I flew back to Pittsburgh under alias. Checked into a no-tell motel off the Boulevard of the Allies. The kind with vibrating beds and roaches the size of regrets. Tommy met me there. Face gaunt. Nursing a youngling. This ain't you.
Eminencia.
Revenge? It's poison. Pop wouldn't want. Pop wanted this. I shoved the video file at him. Watch.
He did.
Jaw clenching.
Jesus.
She's a monster. Then, softer. But exposing her? The cousins. The holidays. It'll nuke everything.
Good.
The word tasted like ash. They profited from lies. Let him choke on truth. Tommy left shaking his head, but I saw the crack, the doubt in his eyes mirroring mine. Was I avenging Pop, or just feeding my own void? Nights blurred into stakeouts, Rita's Pilates class, where she gossiped about troubled nieces, Ted's club, schmoozing donors with Scotch breath. I tailed her to a coffee shop rendezvous with Judge Lang. Their whispers over lattes like foreplay to felony. Snap photos. Log timestamps. The dossier grew. A digital guillotine. Then the pushback hit. My bank flagged suspicious activity. Rita's PI. A weasel named Gino. Sniffing my wires. Tommy's shop got audited. IRS letters piling up like indictments. Coincidence, his text read.
No.
It was war. Her lashing out. Mired in the mud she helped make. I countered. Leaked the affair to a local blogger. Anonymous sources, shady side scandal. The Post-Gazette picked it up. Headlines screaming, judge in jeopardy. Alleged affair with DA's widow. Rita's phone exploded. Ted's firm hemorrhaged clients. She cornered me outside the motel at midnight. Rain sheeting down like judgment. You little bitch, she hissed. Umbrella trembling. Think you can ruin me? I made you, paid your way. Wiped your ass after Jack died. You framed an innocent man for it. I stepped close. Voice steady. Pop rotted while you rose. Now it's your turn. Her slap landed hot, cheek stinging. He deserved it.
Weak.
Sniveling, Jack was the survivor. I protected the bloodline. Bloodline. The word ignited something primal. Yours ends here. I walked away, her curses chasing me into the storm. But inside, the doubt gnawed. Was she right? Pop weak? No, the strength was in silence, in sacrifice. Mine would be in the scream. Harlan called next morning, Lang's resigning. Pressure's mounting. But watch your back. Rita's talking plea. Naming names. Yours might be next. Let her. The fortune wasn't just cash, it was armor. I wired funds to a fixer in D.C., lobbying whispers to the AG's office. Cold case, 1992 union fraud. New evidence. Gears turned, slow as bureaucracy's belly. Tommy showed up unannounced, duffel in hand. I'm in. Fuck family if it's this rotten. We hugged, brothers in arms, plotting over takeout lo mein. The cabin became HQ, its walls whispering approval. But as snow dusted the eaves, I wondered, victory, or just another theft, stealing peace from the living to bury the dead. Rita's empire cracked first, foreclosure notices on a rental in Lawrenceville, whispers at the country club. Ted filed papers, citing irreconcilable deceit. She spiraled, pills and Pinot, crashing her Benz into a guardrail off 376. No fatalities. But the mugshot? Gold. Front page, heiress in handcuffs, drugs and drama. I watched from afar. Heart a war drum. This was it, the precipice. One more push, and she'd shatter. But Tommy pulled me aside by the wood stove.
Ink.
Enough. We got the confession. The money. Pop's avenged. Not yet. My whisper was steel. She needs to feel the cell. That night, I drove to her empty house, foreclosed. Echoes hollow. In her office, amid files and family portraits, Dad grinning, Pop absent. I planted the USB. Not the confession, the affair tapes. Looped with a note. Confess fully, or this goes viral. To the feds. Then I called it in. Break-in at 1420 Ellsworth. Possible evidence tampering. Cops swarmed by dawn. Rita arrived in robe and rage. Hauled in for questioning. It's her. That cunt niece, she screamed to the uniforms. But the feds were already circling. Cold case thawed by my tips. Interrogation footage leaked, Rita cracking, spilling the 92 plot in sobs. Jack needed it. I covered. God. Forgive me. Charges filed. Fraud. Perjury. Conspiracy. Ted flipped state's evidence for immunity. His testimony a dagger. The trial was a circus.
Pittsburgh PD.
The Harpers. Courtroom packed with mill ghosts and society vultures. I testified last. Voice steady under fluorescent glare. She stole more than money. She stole our father from us. Jurors nodded, working stiffs, seeing their own betrayals in the dock. Verdict, guilty. 10 years. Minimum. Rita's wail echoed as they cuffed her, pearls snapping like bones. Outside, flashbulbs popped. Reporters swarmed. Emily Harper. Vigilante or victim? I smiled for the cameras. But inside?
Hollow.
Tommy clapped my shoulder. We did it, sis.
Did we?
The fortune bought silence. Therapy for Tommy's nightmares. But as I drove east, cabin fading in the rear view, Pop's voice lingered. Wise.
Eminência.
Was justice kind? Or just another ghost? The fallout hit like a nor'easter, relentless, churning up muck I'd buried deep. Tommy and I split the inheritance, him sinking his half into a garage in Erie. Harper's honest repairs, neon sign flickering like a promise.
Me?
I bought a brownstone in Bed-Stuy, the kind with gingerbread trim and ghosts of its own. Walls papered in my designs now, bold abstracts. Reds bleeding into blacks. Revenge in pigment. Freelance blew up. Clients loved the edge, the raw American grit. Galleries called, sniffing authenticity. Your story's compelling. One curator purred over Merlot at a Soho opening. Betrayal to billions, it's like a Scorsese script. But scripts end tidy. Life festers. Rita's appeal dragged 6 months. Her lawyers, Ted's old cronies, painting her the martyr. Pop the villain who drove Jack to desperation. Tabloids ate it. Rust Belt ruin. Was Grandpa the real thief? Anonymous leaks. Courtesy of her camp. Dredged Dad's rap sheet. Petty larcenies. Bar fights smearing the whole line. Tommy fielded hate mail at the shop. Grease monkeys jeering. Your old man's blood money. He punched one. Broke knuckles on a jaw. Came home reeking of regret. I doubled down. Funding a podcast, Silent Sacrifices, hosted by a crusading journo named Lena Vasquez. Episodes dissected the trial. Pop's letters serialized. Rita's lies fact-checked to oblivion. Downloads spiked, sponsors poured in, class action firms chasing fraud suits. Lena cornered me post-recording. Mic's off.
Her Latina 4 Matimine.
Your hero, Emily. But this, it's consuming you. What's next? A book? TED Talk?
Nah.
I swirled my untouched scotch. Just making sure she serves every goddamn day. Truth? The high faded fast. Nights. I'd wake sweating. Rita's courtroom glare haunting, not defeated, but defiant, mouthing you'll pay as bailiffs dragged her. Was it over? Or just intermission? Harlan retired to Florida. His last bill stamped final act. But a new shadow loomed. Victor Lang. The Judge X. Slithering free on a technicality, statute lapsed. Evidence inadmissible. He sued the state for defamation. Countersuit naming me as malicious source. My lawyers, fortune-funded sharks, buried it in motions. But the chill? Bone deep. Tommy visited that spring. Cabin thawed. Dogwoods blooming like bruises. We fished the creek. Lines plunking soft. But talk turned toxic. Cousin Mia called, he said, reeling in a perch. Rita's kid. Says her mom's suicidal in SCI Muncie. Blames you. Wants to meet. Mia's plea hit my inbox that night, photo attached. Her at 20. Spitting image of Rita but softer. Eyes pleading.
Awing.
Please. Mom's broken. One visit? For family? Family. The word soured. But curiosity or guilt? Gnawed. I drove up. Chain-link fences of the prison glinting under May sun. Guards barking like wardens in a bad noir flick. Visitation room. Formica tables. Vending hum. Rita shuffling in orange. Hair gray-streaked. No Botox mask now. She sat. Chains clinking. Staring like I'd poisoned her well. Come to gloat.
No. Lie.
To hear the rest.
Why?
Pop loved you, his little girl. Why frame him? She leaned in, breath stale. Because he failed us.
Mid-closing.
No plan, left Jack to fend. I was 25, pregnant with Mia's brother. Ted just starting out. That money? Survival. Jack was desperate. I made it stick.
Pop.
He could have fought harder. Exposed us. But he folded. Weak. Weak. Fury flared. He took the fall for you, and regretted it. Her laugh cracked. Letters from prison, cursing Jack.
Me.
Blood's curse, he'd write. When he got out, eyes dead. That cabin, his cage. I stole nothing he wouldn't have pissed away. Bullshit. But her words wormed in, planting seeds of doubt. Pop's silence, not noble, but broken? I left without reply. But the drive back blurred through tears. What if revenge was just trading chains? Lang struck next, press conference in Pittsburgh. Silver hair gleaming, decrying feminist vendettas, poisoning justice. Subpoena followed, my testimony, under oath, for his civil suit. Courtroom redux. But this time, I was the witch on trial. His counsel grilled. MS. Harper, isn't it true you fabricated evidence to settle a personal score? Your grandfather's confession, conveniently burned, objection sustained. But damage done, jurors, housewives and retirees, whispering gold digger. Tommy testified for me. Voice steady. She fought for truth. For Pop. But Lang's closer sealed it. This isn't justice. It's a daughter's rage. Unchecked. Hung jury. Mistrial. Lang walked, grinning like a fox in the henhouse. I vomited in the courthouse, John, while tasting of defeat. Lena pulled the podcast. Sponsors fled controversy. Fortune intact, but tainted. Every wire transfer a reminder of the rot. Summer scorched in. Humidity thick as lies. Mia persisted. Emails evolving from pleas to propositions. Mom says there's more, hidden accounts. Dad's old stashes. Help us. And we split. Trap or olive branch? I met her in a diner off 79. Vinyl booths cracking. Coffee bitter. Mia? Sharp in sundress and sarcasm. Slid photos across. Dad and Rita. Young. Arms linked. Pop separate. Shadow long. She wants out, Mia said. Plea for time served. But needs your word. Drop the appeals. And I sipped.
Scalding.
Lang's leverage. He knows about the fortune. Untaxed gains from Pop's trades. IRS audit if you push. Checkmate. Rita's web. Spun wider than I'd dreamed. Lang. Her lover. Her shield threatening the very gift that armed me. Tell her no. She serves full. Mia's eyes hardened. Rita's echo. You're no better. Destroying lives for a dead man's grudge. I drove away. Diner fading. But her words clung like damp. No better? The mirror in my brownstone confirmed. Lines etched deeper. Eyes hollow. Tommy called. Heard about Lang. We bail? Start over.
Bail.
The word tempted. A life unscarred, design firm. Maybe kids someday. Fortune funding sunsets in Florida. But Pop's key, still on my chain. Jangled accusation. Bail was betrayal. Instead, I went nuclear. Hired a hacker, ghost from the dark web. Spectre, cod lingo over Tor.
Drain lang I takt.
Offshores. Emails, everything. Cost, $50K. Wired in crypto. Results, torrent of data. Lang's Cayman slush funds. bribes to clerks. Rita's cut funneled through his pack. Leaked to ProPublica. Anonymously. Bombshell. Corrupt judge's empire crumbles. Feds raided his lake house. Boats impounded. Rita's name in the indictments as co-conspirator. She flipped on him in exchange for reduction. 8 years. Out in 4 with good behavior. Lang?
20.
No parole. His mugshot deflated. Snarling. My screensaver for weeks. Victory tasted sweet. Then stale. Tommy toasted with Iron City. To ends. But ends loop in America, where justice is a slot machine for the connected. Autumn stripped the leaves bare, mirroring the Harper bones, exposed.
Brittle.
Rita's reduced sentence meant release in 2. Paroled to a halfway in Harrisburg. Monitored like a hawk with clipped wings. Mia cut contact. Last email Kurt. Hope the ghosts keep you warm. Tommy's garage thrived. But he drank more. Shadows under eyes like Dad's. It's done. He'd slur over FaceTime. Let it die.
D.
It metastasized. Pop's old union buddies surfaced, grizzled vets from the mill. Hands calloused as indictments. Your granddad was solid. 1. Frankie. Growled over beers at Permani's. Coleslaw dripping like tears. Took the heat, so we wouldn't strike break rumors. Oh him. Oh you. They pooled stories, Rita's rise. Buying foreclosed homes from desperate workers. Flipping for profit while Pop scavenged scrap. A class action brewed, wrongful conviction suit against the county. Me as lead plaintiff. Lawyer salivated. Multi-mill settlement. Emily. Pop's name cleared. History books rewritten. I signed on. Depositions in a stuffy office overlooking the point. Rivers merging like grudges. But cracks showed. Evidence thin without Pop's live testimony. Rita's plea muddying intent. Lang's trial loomed parallel. Federal. Flashy. Prosecutors parading his ledgers like trophies. I attended opening day. Back row. Anonymous in ball cap and shades. Rita testified. Prim in witness suit. Voice quavering. Victor manipulated me. After Jack. I was vulnerable.
Lies.
Slick as oil. Lang glared from defense table. But her performance? Oscar-worthy. Jurors nodding sympathy. Cross-exam shredded it, my planted docs resurfacing. Emails time-stamped to my hacker drop. Coerced, the ADA barked. Or calculated?
Rita Kronböld.
Admitting kickbacks. But spinning victimhood, Emily's vendetta forced my hand. My name boomed through the chamber. Head swiveling. Bailiff escorted me out amid murmurs. Flashbulbs blinding. The hit piece dropped next week. Pittsburgh Mag profile. The Avenger's Shadow. How Emily Harper's quest doomed innocence. Byline. Lena Vasquez. My ex-ally. Now Rita's scribe. Quotes from Mia. Aunt M's obsessed, ruined mom. Split the family. Fabrications piled. I'd bribed Harlan. Forged Pop's letter. Circulation spiked. My brownstone vandalized. Vengeance bitch spray-painted in red. Tommy drove down. Face thunder. This shit? It's us against the world now. Sell the place. Come north. Run. I laughed. Bitter. Like Dad.
Worse.
Like a fool. He hugged me fierce. Then left. Alone. I scrolled hate forums, X-threads dissecting my psychosis, memes of me as Lady Macbeth in hard hat. The fortune? Frozen pending investigation. IRS probing Pop's trades as unreported gains. Auditors circled. Vultures in suits. Desperation birthed the plan. Go public. Full throttle. Book deal inked. Blood rust. A granddaughter's reckoning. Ghostrin. Raw as a gut punch. Excerpts leaked. Pop's prison letters. Rita's forgeries scanned. Launch party in NYC. Crowd electric. Activists. Podcasters. Even a senator's aide nodding approval. But protests brewed outside. Free Rita. Justice for the framed. Mia's group. Blue Lives Matter types. Chanting Pop as commie thief. Inside. Champagne soured. Lena cornered me by the bar. Notebook out. Off record. Rita's dying. Cancer. Stage 4. Says tell you.
Sorry.
For Jack. For everything. The words landed like a sucker punch.
Dying?
My rage deflated. Balloon pricked. Too late. Is it? Her eyes searched. Revenge ends when you say. Or it eats you alive. I fled to the cabin that weekend. Snow early. Blanketing sins. Wood stove crackled. Ledger open. Pop's trades. Meticulous. A life's labor. A new envelope slipped from pages. His will. Codicil unread till now. Emily, if you're reading this, you've won. But winning ain't joy. Forgive.
Kiddo.
For you.
Forgive.
The word mocked. Impossible as flight. But doubts swelled. Had I stolen more than justice? Tommy's drinking. Mia's hate. My isolation, collateral in my crusade. Phone buzzed, Harlan. From retirement. Lang flipped. Naming you in plea. Obstruction. Obstruction. The word chained me. Feds would come. Subpoenas. Maybe cuffs. The book? Pulled midprint. Fortune? Seized as proceeds of fraud. All for what? Pop's ghost. Whispering absolution I couldn't grant. I drove to Muncie at dawn. Gates yawning like jaws. Rita in hospice wing. Frail under blankets. Chemo-ravaged. No chains now. Just monitors beeping dirge. She stirred. Eyes fluttering open, Rita's. But dimmed.
Ink?
You came. Not for you.
Lie.
For answers. All of it. She coughed.
Vet.
Jack. Wasn't the thief first.
Pop.
Small stuff union dues. Fudged hours. To feed us during strikes. Jack caught him. Used it.
I.
Amplified. Thought it fair. He was slipping.
Eminencia.
Dementia early. Hiding debts. The frame? Mercy kill for his pride.
Mercy.
The revelation gutted.
Pop.
Not saint but sinner? Fudging for family. Like her. The cycle, blood's rust. Corroding all. Why not tell me? Shame. Her hand. Skeletal. Grasp mine. Yours now. End it. I pulled away. Storming out. But her whisper chased. The fortune? Half's yours. Half. Restitution. Buried in the cabin floor. For the union. For them. Back home. Shovel in moonlight.
Đất gia đình atin, bon.
Half the pot. Earmarked Mill Widows Fund. Pop's final twist. Not all gift. But grace. I wired it anonymous. Checks to the old-timers. Frankie weeping on voicemail. God bless your granddad. Lang's please stuck. Community service.
Fine.
Slap. But momentum shifted. My suit settled. County payout for Pop's name. Plaque at the mill site, in memory of Joseph Harper, silent strength. Rita died that winter. Obituary sanitized, devoted mother. Mia called collect, funerals private.
But.
Thanks for stopping her fall.
No επάλεγη. But thaw.
Spring thawed the ice, but not the ache, life's stubborn freeze. Tommy sobered up. Garage expanding. Harper's now a chain of 3. Ecolifts and apprentices from the old mill town. He proposed to his girl. Rings simple silver. Wedding at the cabin under dogwoods. I stood maid of honor. Dress flowing. Vowing silently. No more ghosts at this table. Mia showed, tentative. With her toddler in tow. Chubby fists clutching dandelions. We didn't hug, but shared cake. Her whisper over frosting, Mom. She regretted. At the end, regret. The currency of our blood. My book republished. Revised, less rage. More reckoning. Bestseller in true crime aisles. Galleries mounted my show. Rust and redemption. Canvases evoking Pocono's pines and prison bars. Critics praising the nuanced fury. Fortune halved, but halved wisely. Trust for Tommy's kids. Scholarships for mill descendants. The rest? Donated to innocence projects. Pop's legacy laundering clean. But twists linger. As they do in American tales, never neat. Always barbed. Lang. Post-service. Penned his memoir. Betrayed by blood. A judge's fall. Bestseller too. His spin. Rita the dupe. Me the harpy. Pop the fraud. Book tour hit NYC. I crashed the signing at Strand. Crowd hushed as I approached the table. Victor. His pen paused. Face ashen. Sign it. To Emily. Air lies choke you.
He did.
Hand trembling. Then low. You won nothing. She's dead. Family's fractured. Worth it. I leaned in. Voice for him alone. Every day she breathed free.
No.
Now, ask your mirror.
Outside.
Paparazzi swirled, but I slipped away. Subway rattling home. Tommy texted. Saw the clip. Badass. Dinner Sunday. Sunday came. Brownstone filled his crew. Mia's kid-smearing sauce. Laughter echoing off walls once scarred. Harlan called from the Keys. Retirement's boring. Need a case. Write your own. I laughed. Mine's close. Night fell soft. City hum a lullaby. I walk the stoop. Key, Pop's key, dangling. No longer weapon but talisman. One kind gesture. A fortune forged in fire. Shook my world to rubble, then rebuilt. Betrayal's sting dulled. Not gone scars map the mend.
But the twist?
The real one. Gnawing at debates in bars and book clubs. Was I avenger or abuser? Pop's mercy frame a lie. Rita's cancer karma or cruelty? Lang's wine valid vendetta? Readers split, some hail the takedown. Fist pump for the underdog. Others decry the collateral. The cycle spun anew. Forums rage. Emily's a monster. Destroyed innocence for spite. Versus.
Nah.
She exposed the rot. Family first, but truth fiercer.
Me?
I don't argue. Let M feud. It's America's pastime. Arguing shades of gray in a black and white world. Pop's plaque gleams in Pittsburgh's sun. Union Hall renamed Harper Hall. Tommy's first kid arrived summer, named Joseph. Little fists waving like flags of truce. Forgiveness? Not given, but grown slow as bonds compounding. Steady as steel once bent. The fortune? Not gold, but grit, the kind that gilds wounds, turns gesture to grace. One envelope, one key, one life's unraveling shook my world.
Yes.
But in the shaking, I found mine. And if the ghosts whisper still, I listen. Then I write on.